Have you ever heard, um, they're too weak? Have you ever heard, um, that's selfish of them? That was inconsiderate. They weren't thinking of those, that they're leaving behind. I'm talking about suicide, and I'm really talking about suicide in the black culture. This is something that I feel like a lot of people, it's like they say they understand, but it's never expressed correctly, or it's never understood in a way that it's something that needs to be fixed. It's something that's always talked about, but it's never fixed. And I feel like, I noticed that it's a rise in student athletes. I noticed that a lot of young African American and black cultured individuals, they experience this a lot, and they're not taught how to deal with them or how to cope with them. And I think the scary part is nowadays we're seeing it a lot in our youth, and we don't know what to do. We don't know how to help them or to fix them. We think that being more strict on them is going to teach them a lesson, or being in a space where they don't get punished enough. Or back in the old days, we used to know. We have to realize that things don't work the same, because we're dealing with three different generations. And that's something that I think we have to take into consideration when it comes to mental health in the black culture. I read something, I'm going to just express to y'all, it's on the phone. It said suicide is the 12th leading cause of death in the United States. It said in 2020, 45,979 Americans died by suicide. In 2020, there was an estimated of 1.2 million suicide attempts. Now, I know we know that is probably, that number probably rise. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Because of COVID and how we were all confined to our homes and our cubicles, I'll say, these four walls, and being in spaces with people, not being able to have that mental stimulation, having that physical touch that some need, having those interactions that they need. Introverts probably enjoyed it. Extroverts probably went crazy, and once the world started opening up, introverts went crazy and extroverts got excited. And so it's something that I think everything plays a part. And I think something I thought of, which is so random, I thought about, what did we think happened in the past, like with during slavery time? Do we think our ancestors experienced suicide, and how did they do it? How did they cope with it? How did they do it? Did they go through with it? Did it ever cross their mind? And I'm sure it did. Imagine being in this excruciating heat, barefooted, picking cotton, being whipped, being abused, being sexually abused, mentally abused, broken down to your core, and not knowing what to do or how to overcome these things. I'm sure suicide was a thing that existed, but the following through with an attempt, I wonder if that was something that they did, or that was seen often. Or we would never know, because a lot of these things are not recorded or documented or accounted for. This is something that I feel like people have to really change their mindset about. I say this because would they be considered, I think, the baby boomer generation? They're more so, we got whipped when we were kids, they don't have enough discipline, yada yada yada, they're weak. That 2000 era generation, and I say this is the era that they grew up in, and I'm a 90s kid, but there is me and my sister are 4 years apart, but there is a difference in our generation. You know what I mean? There is literally a slight but big difference in our generation. And having those gaps. So I'm gonna use my family for example. My mom was born in the 70s. My oldest sister and I were born in the 90s, and my youngest sister was born in 2007. Now that gap is wild to me. I always tell her she was an accident baby. She was a oops baby. You know, they went on vacation and oops, we pregnant, y'all. But that was that's, I love to make fun of her for that. But it's something that I think can explain a lot. Like, the generations are so drastically different. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Thinking about, and it's funny, I saw a post on this actually on Facebook. Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and read it because a lot of people actually shared it. Give me 1 second, y'all. So this post I shared on Facebook was expressing about generations and how different we are. It says people were born between 1985 and 1995 are the most unique generation of all times. Here's why. They are in between two generations, the one before the internet and technology took over, and the generation after. The generation before us was old school and believed in working hard. The generation after us believes in working smart. We saw it all: radios, TV, Mario, Nokia. Oh my gosh, Nokia's throwback. A Nintendo 64, Samsung, iPhone, PS4, tapes, CDs, DVDs, mixtapes, Netflix, Snapchat, MySpace, emojis, virtual reality. It says the generation before us can be scammed with simple emails asking for money and offering love. The generation after us knows it's better to have 4 emails, one for serious stuff, social media, financial transactions, and one for experiments for things you don't trust. I'm laughing because my mom just sent us a message maybe like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, being scammed by somebody trying to log into her Apple account, and that's literally the contrast is so funny. We are the generation that knows tradition and question it, picking Lord, y'all, I got confused. Okay, we are the generation that knows tradition and question it, picking from it what makes sense of it. The generation before us knew no questions. The generation after us knows no tradition. Oof. Wow. We are the gap between the industrial age and the internet age. We understand both sides from experience. We should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore, and the new guys don't fully understand where what's going on is coming from. Oh my gosh, even reading it again is so good. That ties into kind of what I'm saying, that gap and how to deal with people and our emotions and our mental health is so like opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to generations. How to dealing with it, if you choose to deal with it. Is that even a thing? Certain generations don't even think that suicide is a thing. They think that it's a selfish act. They think that, you know, it's something that you can control. It's something that makes you look weak. And I get it. I absolutely get the concept. I get why they think that, but I don't see how they can seem to understand how that's logical. I don't understand why they would think that that's like that person was, for example, hopefully y'all are following me. When a young teen, let's say they were 2000 kids, right? They were born in the 2000s. Let's say a young kid is suicidal. Now, they have not experienced having to pay bills, going to college, student loans, marriage, kids, all the fine print of life, you know? They have not experienced that. But of what they have experienced, whatever they're going through is stressful to them. And I think that type of compassion to understand that you can be 14 and be suicidal. You can be 18 or 20 and suicidal. You don't have to be a person who has gone through everything in life to be at that point. You can literally have the lack of strength and mental health to be able to sustain the life experiences that you are going through. You know, some people live in families that struggle. Okay, maybe mom and dad are the ones that are struggling, but how does this take a toll on the kids in the family? You know, maybe you know, uncles and cousins are touching them in inappropriate ways and they don't say anything. Maybe they're not able to just brush it off like certain generations, well, that happened to me and it made me stronger. Okay, it happened to some people and it broke them down. So being in that space of where do we find that, not even, there's no really a happy medium, but where do we find the gray area and how do we color it? How do we get there to be, y'all, I'm even confused myself just trying to figure it out. I think we have to start with the fact that therapy, hey, black people, okay, this is for you. Therapy is okay. Therapy does not make you weak. Therapy is not something for the white people. Sorry, no offense to anybody. Therapy is not for the other races. Therapy is for people who want to work on their mental health. I need my people, right? This is a PSA. I need my people to stop saying that therapy is for those who can't handle life on their own. To be honest, okay, let's think about it. Some of the strongest people in this world are strong because they chose not to deal with their things or because they chose to overcome them. But how exactly did you overcome them? Did you use them as a stepping stone? Yes, but did you deal with them? Okay, did you handle that situation? Did you forgive that person? Did you figure out how to allow certain things to take place in your life despite what you have been through? Mental health in the black culture is probably the least worked on thing. And it's sad to say there's this saying that was out there, and I actually just heard a stand-up comedian use this in one of their comic stands. No, it's not new, but it's old. Chris Rock, he did a skit about if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Why do we continue to allow that to be true? I don't know. Veering off topic a little bit, health, wealth, mental stability, all that, it's found in books. The answers are in books, and the main book is the Bible, but we're not going to get into that. However, there are books that are not the Bible that can also assist you in working on yourself, right? And understanding your mind. Right now I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits. It's broken down so simple as to why you are who you are and why you are who you're not. Like that's literally all the book is showing me. And it's also showing me why you have what you have and how you can get what you want. And to see that this was literally on a shelf. Access to this type of information was literally just out there. Who are the type of people that are buying these books? Who are the type of people that are listening to audios and who are working on themselves on a daily basis and who are reading the Bible or whatever type of information you're using to fill your cup? Stop allowing social media. Stop allowing, people to tell you this is what your life is supposed to be like. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses or who you see on social media and be like, oh, well, I want to live like them. Okay, but what did they go through to get to that? I think is the part people are forgetting. People want the success or they want the life or they want the happiness, but they're not willing to go through the journey and the process to get there. You can want it, but are you willing to fight for it? You can want it, but are you willing to choose and say, you know what? I may have to risk it all. I may have to go broke. I may have to leave that relationship. I may have to start that business. I may have to, whatever it is. I feel like the mental health, right? And this is just my personal opinion. Your mental health starts with how you see yourself. Your mental health is how you allow others to perceive you and you taking on that perception. Your mental health is what you are feeding your ear gates and your eye gates, and what are you seeing on a daily basis? What are you reading on a daily basis? And I know we all hear this, like these are things we've heard before, but really and truly, tell me, scrolling on TikTok for an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, some people 8 hours of your day, what you're seeing, is that who you want to be? Is that what you want to take on? And then asking yourself, is this who I want my kids to be? Is this what I want them to do? Meaning that concept of being a person who sees something and wanting to have that, being envious of it, or even working to have what somebody else have and not trying to figure out what's for you. I feel like your mental health stems from what you allow, but at the same time, once it takes over, you're no longer in control. Second to our heart, our mind is the second like strongest organ in our body. And I feel like people don't take enough time to use it, to grow it. Some people literally have rubber band minds. It's useless until it's stretched. So what are you going to do, when you start to bring kids into this world, when you want to teach them life lessons? And it's going back to the youth, the teens that are suicidal. It's a lot of things of what they were not taught in families, how families dynamics can affect a child's mental health. If you're in a home where expressing your feelings is not a thing, or on a daily basis telling your kids you love them, or having a space where they can come to you about their screw ups and their mistakes and whatever, and them not having to lose their entire world about it. Over it, because that's as simple as that can be, as in, okay, my child made a mistake or did something wrong. No matter how drastic it is. Okay, now you're grounded for a week or two and I'm taking your phone away, this and that. What is that teaching them? I get it. I get that they need discipline, but they need understanding first. Then comes the discipline. I think that's where a lot of us are having that disconnect. We need to teach them understanding of mentally what's right and wrong. We have to give them understanding of how to have a healthy mind, how to have distinction in what's right and wrong, how to have that self-confidence and having that common sense, because common sense ain't common. But at the same time, teaching them that, let me say this properly. School education is not everything. Educating yourself is everything. School education, the basics, the going to school, reading the books, the histories, getting straight A's in school. Okay, that's awesome. I'm so happy that you're smart, but can you make it in life? Right? You'll go through school with straight A's and honors and all this stuff, but will you even end up happy? Will you end up, being wise? Will you end up being financially abundant? Will you be able to teach what you have learned? Some people go through school with all these good grades and all these things, and they end up just being a Starbucks barista. I'm not knocking anybody. I promise you. Starbucks barista, I appreciate you. I don't even drink Starbucks like that. I'm more of a house blend type of person. But teaching them that, or... See, I thought about coffee and I lost my train of thought. Going to school and getting your straight A's and all that stuff. What is it really teaching you? It's teaching you what? That you know how to memorize words in a book on a page? Okay, cool. Are you using that? Are you applying Pythagorean theorem? I don't even know if I said that right. Are you okay, so clearly school wasn't my thing. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. Let me keep it real with y'all. And this goes to say, like, my family dynamic is interesting because my older sister actually was the straight A student. She still is absolutely brilliant to this day, but she has a loud life. She has also common sense. She has mental awareness. She has mental strength. So she was able to maneuver through life and understand that, yeah, she did all these things and got, graduated magna cum laude, summa cum laude, all that, right? But she understood that wasn't all of who she was. She understood that did not define who she was. Then we have me. I'm the middle child, and school was not my forte. Let me tell y'all, right? Graduated high school with a 1 point something, barely graduated, literally didn't qualify until the morning of graduation. Then I also did not it's a funny thing, I did not get accepted into Florida State University. I got accepted into Florida State University College of Music because of my talent, because of who I am. My grades, my skills, that stuff, no, did not qualify me at all. And that's why I actually ended up going to a community college to get my AA degree first, so that way I can have at least some type of qualification for them to be like, okay, well, maybe we'll consider it, right? It's funny because I got two letters. I got one letter denying me from the Florida State University. Then I have another telling me that I'm accepted from the College of Music. And I was just like, so does this mean I'm going or not? But here we are, Florida State graduate, right? So this is me saying, like, working on yourself, having that ability to understand that you're not okay, having that ability to say, you know what, school may not be my forte, but I can still become something. Understanding that your grades don't define you. For those student athletes, your grades, your performance in your sport does not define you. For those parents, the way your child acts does not define you. It's not your fault that they chose to live that. They are being influenced, right? For those people who are going through it, that's losing everything or whatever, life is happening to you. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. Life is happening for you, not to you, right? When you understand that everything in life happens for you, that is when you truly understand that, okay, the world isn't against me. I am not a bad person. I am not a weak person. I'm just going through it. Like, literally, I am figuring out who I am, who I'm supposed to be. And sometimes you have to be broken down in order to be rebuilt. And that reconstruction process is painful. It's excruciating. It's exhausting. It's consistent. And it happens several times throughout your life. It's not just one time, and I think people run from the reconstruction when you have to run toward it and say, you know what, enough is enough. Like, it saddens me when I see people say they want something and they don't go after it. Or when I see somebody a long time ago would had these dreams and aspirations and now they're nowhere where they wanted to be. It's kind of like, what happened along the way? What happened in your mind and your heart that they became they got on different tracks instead of being aligned and on the same track? They were no longer on the same understanding of this is what we have to do. Getting back on topic, therapy is something that's okay, my Black people. I promise you. This topic alone is only tough because there's conversations and things, and I'm even getting nervous now just thinking about it. These are things that I myself have experienced. I've never in my life verbally expressed it to family. I've never in my life verbally expressed it to people older than me. Maybe if you were in my life at that exact moment, you knew, but nobody knows. Because I was taught that it makes me weak. I was taught that it makes me that I'm crazy or that I'm selfish or and these are things that you hear and you see. But understanding that when I got therapy, right, for those of you who didn't know also, it changed everything for me. It probably saved me. It saved me. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'm genuinely very uncomfortable right now. Just even talking about this, but, we have to understand that is a part of my journey, my process, my reconstruction. And if I hadn't experienced certain things, I would not be who I am today. I would not have the mental health and strength that I have today. But going through certain things and being in that position to say, you know what, actually, I was forced into therapy by a friend in college. It's so crazy. I was like, where are we going? They were like, just come with me. And, they would tell me for weeks, like, you should go. I'm like, yeah, you tripping, whatever. And they finally like sneaked it like they sneaked it in there, and got me in there. And like, actually, it's crazy, it's sad that I kind of don't really talk to that person as much today, but I forever have like love for them. I will forever thank them for seeing what I could not see, and seeing, and understanding that you need help. Like, it's okay to need help. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm feeling really weak right now, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that. Like, it's not something that you have to run from. Your mental health, excuse me, Lord forgive me, your mental health is something that I think needs more attention, on a daily basis. Not when you feel good, or not when it feels right, but even when it hurts. Your mental health is something that has to be priority. If you are not right in your mind, there's no way you're going to be right in this world, and then there's nowhere going to be right for somebody. So when you are experiencing things and you are becoming overwhelmed, if you experience bad anxiety, if you experience I can't remember the word right now, sorry, but if you experience depression, I'm sorry, if you experience all these different things that can lead to suicide, that can lead to, if you, and honestly, I think my experience stemmed from lack of acceptance, lack of self-love, lack of understanding of myself and of others, lack of compassion, and then it's kind of like my issue was that I was looking for it from people when I needed to find it within myself. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all about that self-awareness and that mental health to say, you know what, I don't need people to tell me that I am good. I don't need people to tell me that I am able. I don't need people to tell me that I am strong. I don't need people to tell me good job in order to get through the day. Okay, it's great and thank you, I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, what you say or think or feel about me does not make or break me. When I tell you it took me 20 something years to figure that out, living a life where you had to appease people all the time became who I was. Appeasing people, being in relationships for people, changing myself for people, doing things I didn't want to do for people. It's kind of like, who am I? Like, who is Zanir? Like, what does that even mean? People loved me. I'm a great person. Thank you. Not to to my own horn, but they loved me, but I didn't love me. Like, how was that even possible? How is that even a thing to say, you know what, I could be in a real... Okay. Sorry. Like, so much has come to my mind right now. I was in a relationship and I told them afterwards, and I was like, you know what? I'm so sorry for the way everything ended, but at the end of the day, I was not ready for the type of love you were willing to give, because I could not even give that to myself. And I was the problem. But I couldn't see that in those moments. I couldn't see that. I was literally a walking self-destruction. Like, I was the problem. Like, that TikTok, am I the problem? Yes, I am the problem. But that doesn't mean it can't be fixed. It's kind of like, what am I saying? It's kind of like, I don't even know, because not being aware of how bad off I was the problem. And then I wanted people to love me, and then I wanted people to what's the word, like, give me gratification and give me acceptance and all these things. And in the journey of figuring out who I was or who I am, that didn't happen until last year. Even in 2018, when I thought I figured out who I was, I did not. I was even further away from who I was than I thought. And, I can laugh about it now, but it's kind of like, a lot of people are walking this earth not knowing who they are. And I think that can also affect our youth because they don't know who they are. They're experiencing life, and that's okay. And I think for them, it's okay to not know who they are. But when they are going through things because they don't know who they are, they don't know how to handle things on the inside. They don't know who they want to be, how they want to be. And when you are, for those youth who go through so much in their families and their life, you know, their family could be struggling. They could be going through mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, you know, all these different things. But they can also, you know, be doing bad in school and all these things. And when you think about all the things that can compile onto them for where they are in life, I understand why they would feel or choose it. I'm trying to make sure I use the right words because I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I also, you know, want there to be understanding. I can understand why they would feel that way. And to be honest, in my life, I have had a struggle, and I still do it to this day, of pleasing people. And I have to catch myself and saying, like, you know, it's okay if their feelings get hurt. It's okay if that's something you don't want to do. It's okay if that's not who you are. Appeasing people and living for others and all that jazz can also lead to suicide. There's so many routes. When I tell you there's so many reasons and routes as to why it can take place, all I'm trying to say is Black culture, stop thinking that it's crazy. Stop saying that they're not allowed to be, or giving the notions, because your actions are saying that we're not allowed to be. Your actions are saying that we're weak because of it. I think people who are going through mental crisis are actually more emotionally aware. They just don't know how to deal with it. They just don't know how to overcome it. So why are we telling them that they're crazy or that they're weak when all they're trying to figure out is how to overcome what they're feeling? Like, the more I've been through things and the more I have experienced things myself, like, I didn't give y'all the full details. I haven't told y'all anything, you know, to be like, you know what happened. But it's kind of like when you go through these things, all you're wanting is for people not to look at you like you're fragile now, or you are this broken record. Your mental health is something that, and again, remember, I'm really speaking to the Black culture. Black men, it's okay. If somebody hasn't told you today, I'm telling you, Black men, it's okay to not know who you are. It's okay to figure yourself out. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak in times. It's okay to not be able to carry all that is expected of you. It's okay. Black women, I'm here to tell you, it's okay. It's okay to be it's crazy. It's okay that, you know, we have 3 strikes against us. It's okay that we have we're the last taken care of in the totem pole. It's okay that we're looked down upon, but we're embraced at the same time, because people want to be like us, but they don't want to be us. Okay. It's okay that, you know, we have to go through things alone. It's okay that we are looked at as one of the strongest human beings, but treated as one of the weakest. We're looked at as if we're foreign, you know, that we can't have what others have. But one thing I do know about my people, okay, let's talk about it. We have the ability to overcome so many things. If we can go through everything we've been through in the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, right? 70, 80, 90 years. I'm gonna keep going back, because Some people want to confine us, but when we know how to do what they do, when we know how to move like they move, when we know how to work on ourselves the way they work on themselves, there's no way they can box us in. There's no way they can't tell us who we are not or who we are. There is no way they can control. So when I say this, because when you work on yourself, when you get your mental health right, nobody can come and tell you who you are. Nobody can come and tell you who you're not. Nobody can come and tell you what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. Nobody can come and tell you anything about you but you. When you know that everything you need in life to figure out is in a book, or is in an audio, or it's in the stuff you think is boring, or stop trying to want to binge watch. How about you binge watch a movie that's going to benefit you? How about you binge watch some audios? Take 20-30 minutes of your day. Get your mind right. Like, for real, like, stop opening your phone and letting that be the first thing you do in the day, right? There was a point in time in my life where I did not know God. I thought I did, but I did not. And whoever you believe in, you need to talk to them some more. Excuse me. Whoever you believe in, go and set up a date every day, early in the morning or at the end of the night. Talk to them. Let them know who you are, what you want, what you're sorry for. Be vulnerable. Open it up. This stems for every aspect of your life, because I found that believing and having faith and working on myself made it all encompassing for me to be able to understand who I am. And my mind became so much stronger when I had that space to say, you know what? I am not in control. God is. I am not who I'm trying to be is not who God has intended me to be. Right? This is His will, not mine. That changed the game. Like, I literally stopped forcing anything. I stopped doing anything that wasn't of me, that did not feel right. If I even questioned it for a second, I did not do it. If I even thought twice about, like, okay, well, I did not do it. When you choose to put you first, you're choosing God. When you choose to work on yourself and accept you for all of who you are, because stop wanting other people to accept you. Accept yourself first. Accept your flaws. Accept your beauty. Accept your strength, your weaknesses. Your weaknesses only look weak to you because somebody else has told you that. But for somebody else, it can be a strength. What you went through is not for you. It's for you to overcome and then to be able to help others go through it. Life can be hard. Life is hard. Life is tough as fuck. Excuse my language, right? But at the same time, we are all here to... It's crazy. We are all here for a reason. And it's just, you got to figure it out. Honestly, at this point, I just wanted to shed light and say, not being okay is okay. And you can choose to go through it alone, or you don't have to. Black culture, I want us to stop giving stigma and creating a stigma to those of our own people who go through things. Mental health is something that's extremely important. And without it, again, I said it before, without mental health, you can't go far in life, because your mind is what carries you through everything. That's where your consistency comes from. That's where your discipline comes from. That's where your will comes from sometimes. Sometimes your heart, but it comes from your mind too, because of what you're exposed to, what you believe. If I couldn't believe that I could have influence, I wouldn't. If I can't believe or have faith in my abilities to do something, I won't do it. What you focus on grows, right? If you don't change, nothing will change. If we don't change, nothing will change. We will start to lose more of our people, more of our men, more of our youth. And We can't look at them like they're weak, because they're not. They just, the world, it's funny, I have a map of the world, and that's all I can just think of is the world. Like, this world is wild. This world is something that we can't control, but what we can control is ourselves. And you know, you can want to, and I'm looking up because I have these words on my wall that says hustle, execution, grind, and conquer. And it says hustle is a verb, the only controllable pillar of success. Execution, noun, stop talking and put in the work. It says grind is a verb, to perform repetitive tasks over and in order to attain a goal. And it says conquer, verb, forcefully overcome and take control of all weaknesses and excuses. If we don't give excuse to anything or to anyone, and choose to help and choose to give a helping hand and understand that everybody's different, right? No one person is weak. Now, disclaimer, if somebody is using their mental health as a way of manipulation, go and leave them where they at. That's different. This ain't even for them. To be honest, I hope you're not even listening if that's who you are. Like, for real, if you are I'm just gonna say, if you are going through anything, if you are mentally unstable, if you are struggling, because I know 2021 was excruciating for a lot of people, financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, and medically, you know. And if you feel like you need somebody, feel free to reach out to me. Reach out to my Instagram page, the page where, you know, we can communicate and we can talk from there. If you feel like you need somebody to just listen, reach out to me. If you feel like you want a different perspective, you want understanding, reach out to me. If you feel like you're alone, even if you just want somebody to listen, reach out to me, because I know what it feels like to need that. And it's crazy because sometimes we do have that around us. We just can't see it because of everything we feel and everything we see. You do have people in your circle, in your corner, and if you don't, you have me. So I want you to understand that who you are and where you are in life right now is where you're meant to be, but now we have to figure out how to get you where you want to be. Right? To my black people, it's okay. And you are allowed to be suicidal. But let's not take action, and let's help you. And let's help you get to where you want to be, in a healthier space, because you are loved. You are somebody's child, somebody's mother, somebody's parent, somebody's dad, somebody's brother, auntie, cousin, sister. You get it, right? You are somebody, and mainly of all things, you are God's child. And so for those of you who are actually listening to this and want to reach out, go ahead and reach out to me. I hope this was enlightening. You know, I just really wanted to put some light on it, because I know it's not talked a lot about in the black culture, and I just hope that we can change that and help a lot of our people. To those student athletes and youth and just people in general, know that you have the ability to let go. Whatever's hurting you, whatever's causing you pain, let it go. Appreciate y'all. We're here keeping it real. Thank you for listening to The Real Talk. See y'all on the next episode.